Hi, it's Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And I can't believe it, but it has been a very long time since I've done any episodes for my All About Buttercream series. But today we are back with a classic. I'm surprised I haven't done this one already because literally this is my go-to buttercream for any cake or cupcake. Recipe is down in the description box below as well as in the pinned comment, so don't worry if you miss the ingredients. Really, watching this video is all about the method. The recipe starts with 110 grams of egg whites, and it doesn't need to be to room temperature or anything like that. Just fresh from the egg is good. Heat 300 grams of granulated sugar with about 75 grams of cold water on the stove. When you start seeing bubbles, start whipping those egg whites in a stand mixer. Bring the sugar up to 244 degrees Fahrenheit and then slowly, with a steady stream, pour it into the whipping egg whites. Although using a candy thermometer is best to ensure that you're getting really super stable meringue, I've done it without several times, and I really just look for chaotic bubbles for about 30 seconds, get those egg whites whipping, and then I start putting in that sugar mixture. And I whip it on high for 3 minutes. After the meringue is nice and stiff, just like this, I start whipping in about 400 grams of butter, and I do switch to a paddle attachment just to avoid super large air bubbles. If you want this to be very white, I recommend a little dash of airbrush purple food colorant. The reason I say airbrush is because sometimes when I use gel food colorant, it actually is way too strong. So airbrush just helps me control things and make sure that I'm getting a really nice white color and not a purple or grayish color. Though I must say this is definitely the whitest of the buttercreams. Anything egg white based generally tends to be on the whiter side. Using room temperature butter is best so that you can avoid this next step that you might have to do. If your buttercream looks like it's really curdled and separated, do not panic. You don't need to throw it out. What's happening is your butter is just a little bit too cold. So in order for that to incorporate fully, we need to heat that butter up just a little bit. So take a pot of water, and it needs to be small enough so that your stand mixing bowl doesn't actually fall into that pot and then touch the water. And then just heat it until it kind of gets soupy on the edges, and then re-whip that buttercream. If you want the visuals on that process, definitely check out this video in the upper right-hand corner. Now let's see how well this Italian Meringue Buttercream performs. Well, the best thing that I like about Italian Meringue Buttercream is that it has an amazing hold. And of course, that comes from the structure of the meringue and all that butter. So if you do notice that it's a little bit floppy on you or a little bit too soft, you can just leave it for a bit so that that butter solidifies. But if you're still finding it's too soft, go ahead and add in a little bit more butter. By the way, you can use unsalted or salted butter. People prefer different tastes. I really don't notice the difference when I use either. This also crumb coats really nicely, and because it has nice body to it, you're able to actually get a cake fully crumb coated and covered completely all in one go if that's what you're looking for. I personally really like doing a crumb coat first, then putting it in the fridge. I will say though that I've heard you really shouldn't do that with Italian Meringue Buttercream. Apparently it messes with it a little bit, which I can kind of see. Like, I am getting some air bubbles here. There is a way to get rid of that. I was hurrying, so I did not get rid of it in this particular cake because I was going to be covering a majority of those bubbles. But if that is something that's really important to you, just go ahead and heat up your spatula with a kitchen torch and run it through, and it makes it so dreamy and creamy and beautiful looking. As always, I complete a rose or flour test on all of my buttercreams, and no surprise here, I knew that this was going to hold, and you can get really perfect petals. Notice how no matter what direction I'm going in, it never ever flops. So if you're looking to do a lot of flower work, this is definitely the buttercream for you. I also find that this does really well in the heat, obviously not direct or extreme temperatures, but if it's a warmer summer day and it has to be in the car for maybe a little bit or on a car ride or it's sitting out, it does exceptionally well. This is why I love using it for bridal events. And for the longest time, I used to think that only American buttercream could do this since it forms a crust when you place it in the fridge, but you can actually paint gold on this buttercream as well, which is also a major plus. full tutorial on this floral snake cake coming up. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys, and if you want to know more about what's going on with me, definitely check out my second channel, Need More Sweet Dreams Bake Shop. Bye!